It is time once again for one of my terrible lists. Today we're doing my top 3 Nissans. Let's dive into it. This is a tough list for a few reasons, but I won't get too deep into all of them. But to kick things off at number 3, we are going to go with the Datsun 510. Okay, it's a Datsun, it's a Nissan. It's the same thing. I know there's a little bit of this between Datsun and Nissan people at times, but let's not beat around the bush. We know who made them. Regardless, I love the 510. It is generic, and I can see how a lot of people don't really think much of it. And sure, it's old, and there's much more better performing cars, but I actually just really think they're kind of cute. They look good. There's nothing wrong with them. And the biggest thing that I actually think helps the 510 a lot, personally, is the modifications that I see done to them to people and enthusiasts that have kept them and have updated them and just done really cool things with them. I think it's an awesome platform. I think there's so many cool things you can do with them to do all these retrofits, and there's just a lot of neat things. Like, some of these examples look amazing in my eyes, and that's why it's number 3 on my list. There's cooler, there's better. We'll get to that, but this one's awesome. It's my number 3. And in at number 2 is a Skyline. It is the 2000 GTR. These are so cool. I think these are actually kind of slept on really hard by a lot of people. I would absolutely love to find one, import one, or buy one. That will never happen. They're like, I'm not gonna call them impossible to find, but it seems that way. They also then just cost a ton of money. There are other older Japanese cars that get imported that sell for crazy money. I can't imagine if I could ever find a 2000 GTR and see how much one of these actually costs if I could find one. But I won't own one unless this video does 1 million views. So share it to 1 million people. I'm counting on that one guy out there. It's not happening, but I would absolutely love one of these. They're like baby American muscle cars in their looks, but it's Japanese, which obviously gives it an extra point in my book, and I'm sure it actually probably works, unlike a lot of old American muscle cars that need lots of work done. But regardless, they're just super cool. I'm not trying to dog on American muscle that much, but they're absolutely enormous. So this would be cool because it's like normal size. And coming in at number 1, we have not this Nissan 720. Here's the deal. I really do like my Nissan 720. Maybe top 10, maybe, but there's other Nissans I like more. So at number 1, we have my favorite, the R32. So if we made a top 10 list all time, R32 100%. All vehicles, it's gonna be in my top 10. It's absolutely one of my favorites. I know it's not the fastest Skyline you can get. I know most people prefer the R34s, or will even tell you that an R33 is a better all-around car than an R32. I'm not gonna argue that. That might be true. It is true. I'm not gonna even argue it. It's true. But here's the deal. The R34, as much as it's like the god of the JDM 90s to a certain degree, although 2000s, whatever you wanna call it, I don't like the way they look. I don't think they look bad. I just don't think they look amazing. And the R33 is just kind of, I don't know, it doesn't look good. I know it's not that different from a 32, but it's different enough where I don't think that looks great. The R32 just looks sleek enough and clean enough, but yet it still has just those chirpings of, I'm a beast underneath. And it got the nickname Godzilla for a reason when it was just absolutely hammering everything in the Australian touring cars. So it has the pedigree. I think it looks amazing. And on top of all of this, and this doesn't make my decisions up, obviously, but I actually get to enjoy R32s, not all the time, but surprisingly, for living in the United States, there's a lot of really cool Skylines around where I live because they've been imported, and we have Midwest Skylines, shout out, locally, really close to where I live and work, where I get to see an unbelievably ridiculous R32. I'll leave links. That car is absolutely insane, Colby. But it's nuts. So definitely one of my favorite vehicles of all time. Just absolutely no argument. I think they look amazing. I know there's things that are much faster. For instance, my car's a ton faster than a twin turbocharged Skyline. It's crazy what modern cars can do, but it's not only about speed. And if I could absolutely chill cruise in a GTR every day, an R32, man, game, set, match. I would love it. That'd be my favorite. So my number 1 is the R32 GTR. And I don't care how wrong I may be from other people saying there are much better Nissans. Nah, it doesn't get any better than that in my opinion. Those are the coolest, they look the best. I'll die on that hill. That's it though. That's today's list. That's my top 3 Nissans. Let me know your top 3 Nissans down below. And if I'm just absolutely crazy for leaving out the 720 or for leaving out something else, because there's a lot of sick Nissans, honestly. This list was really tough because there's a ton of awesome Nissans. And that's why it gets hard for the 720, because like that top 10 is actually absolutely slammed if you start thinking about like Silvias and other just Z cars. Like there's a lot of great options in there. So like I said, let me know your thoughts, leave a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see all of you guys in my next garbage list.